Morning. My team and I are here to present to you about careers in supply chain. Jake, Jacob, Anthony, and I have put together a compilation of what a career in supply chain looks like and some statistics about it. What is supply chain? As we know, supply chain is the network between your company and the suppliers to produce and distribute a specific product to the final buyer. This is getting a consumer good or product from production all the way through the supply chain to the final customer and everything in between. Roles and careers in supply chain. So we know that 79% of jobs within supply chain require a bachelor's degree. What would not require a bachelor's degree would be an entry level position. This could be something in customer service, logistics, such as a truck driver, a line worker, whether it's in a manufacturing facility or a packaging plant, or a forklift driver, which may require a certification. This is a good way to get hands on experience for entry into the industry. A mid-level position would be something like a resource planner, a line supervisor, a plant manager, a quality assurance manager, or a logistics analyst. Many of these mid-level positions are good for lateral and vertical career moves within supply chain, and having cross-chain experience can come from having a career or role in these positions. And an advanced or executive level position would be someone like an engineer, a chief operating officer, or of course, a chief supply chain officer. And we see roles and careers in supply chain across many industries, automotive, apparel, manufacturing, chemical, wholesale distribution, consumer electronics, aerospace and defense, like government contracts, and the list goes on. What are the day-to-day responsibilities of someone in these types of positions? So an entry-level position, an example might be a line worker in manufacturing. They could feed product and material into a machine, operate the machine safely, check the product quality and the integrity of it. Someone in a mid-level position's day-to-day responsibilities as a resource planner could be ensuring product and materials are ordered and available in each supply chain step, scheduling of resource deliveries, and monitoring resource inventory. Someone in this role would have familiarity with enterprise resource planning systems. An advanced or executive level person, such as a chief operating officer, they have a more comprehensive role overseeing all planning implementation along the supply chain. They have the oversight of HR, the logistics, manufacturing, packaging, planning, and every other step along the way. They have their hands involved in something regarding the strategic plan related to that. They enforce Lean Six Sigma, making sure production isn't surpassing a certain threshold and is not overusing resource or undersupplied with the resources needed, and customer resource management using tools in that sense. And then they would negotiate contracts with vendors. This is the cost saving piece that is really important for someone in the chief operating role. And they, of course, work directly with the chief supply chain officer. I'm going to now pass this on to my colleague.
After hearing from Jess what roles and responsibilities you would have as a supply chain manager, the next step is where would your career begin? Education and prior work experience are important for any position. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, to start out in any supply chain position, companies are looking to hire those with a bachelor's degree in either economics, business, operations, finance, or engineering. Low positions do exist for those who hold a high school degree, and as Jake will mention in a bit, they include jobs such as sales trainee or an assistant buyer. However, many larger organizations are looking for formal training and or a college level degree to ensure they're hiring the most qualified individuals. Since a strong economic and operations knowledge background is necessary and generally holds a slightly higher regard in the hiring process, someone may even consider a dual major in undergraduate as an economics and operations management. A degree like this would help an employee see both sides of the equation. Economics would help someone understand the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, both practically and the theory behind it all, and this understanding can help an individual make better decisions on how to predict public demand and manage scarce resources. Operations would help someone understand more of the mathematics behind each step in a supply chain, similar to some of the things we've learned in just this course alone. Things like understanding bottlenecks and how to avoid them, predicting safety stock, exponential smoothing models to predict proper inventory, and applying the news vendor model to hold a better amount of inventory and not lose out on any profits, just to name a few concepts, are all vital to properly managing the supply chain. To further advance your career, seeking a master's degree specifically in supply chain management could be an option for you. Many schools, such as Syracuse, Michigan, and Boston University, among many others, offer Masters of Science degrees in supply chain management. Even before the coronavirus pandemic, many of these programs were offered fully online and were specifically tailored to those who may already be working full time or may be already working in the supply chain field. With a focus on logistics management and quantitative approaches, these degrees offer someone the ability to be much more versatile as a manager and fully understand the concepts that I mentioned on the previous slide. Since there are many different sectors behind each supply chain, the more diverse your background is, the better suited you are to transition. Everything comes together into the final product, from raw materials to manufacturing, then on to distribution to the retailer, and finally the consumer. The undergraduate bachelor's degree in economics, paired with a master's of science in the supply chain, for example, will help you fully understand the full costs of materials used and how those markets work, and can help you be better suited to handle the quantitative analysis necessary to make the right decisions towards inventory or distribution levels of the supply chain. Another possibility is an undergraduate degree in hospitality, combined with the master's of science in supply chain management. This would help an individual obtain all of the soft skills necessary to handle the final stage, the consumer, as well as know the logistics and mathematics behind every step of the way. It also means that if someone wasn't a finance or economics major or even involved in operations, they have an opportunity to fit in somewhere in the supply chain. As Anthony and Jake will talk about, there are many different jobs that require certain qualifications and prior experiences needed for the supply chain. Some certification exams, as Jake will mention, require much more background education and more formal training. With the proper background education or proper background experience, you can pivot your career easily and get involved with several different areas. The more prior knowledge and experience you have, the better suited you as a manager could be to make yourself more valuable as an employee and move around into different sectors in the supply chain. The highest degree is not necessary, but the experience of any entry-level position is absolutely invaluable. I'm now going to pass it over to Jake to touch more on the jobs possible within the supply chain, whether or not you have a degree.
All right, types of jobs in the supply chain. The United States supply chain contains 37% of all jobs employing 44 million workers. This field tends to have higher than average wages. Overall, the average wage is $47,700. Meanwhile, the supply chain average wage is $61,700, which is $14,000 more in the supply chain field. The reason supply chain jobs are special is because supply chain involves planning, execution, physical flow of goods, the flow of information, processes, financial management, sourcing, logistics, procurement, manufacturing, distribution, repair and recycling, business management, and much, much more. Careers you will find in this field include logistic, transportation manager, purchasing manager, supply chain manager, logistics manager, and logistics analyst. Certification in supply chain. Some of the top supply chain management certifications are listed below with some of their specs. So the first one is Apex Certified Supply Chain Professional Certification, which has a 10-year expiration. So after 10 years, you would have to retake the exam. You also need 3 years of related experience or bachelor's degree in order to take the exam. There's also Apex Certified in Production and Inventory Management. Also Apex Supply Chain Operations Reference Endorsement, which validates your knowledge in supply chain operations, model, and methods. Next, you have the ISM Certified Professional in Supply Management, which validates your knowledge on supply management functions across several industries. This, you need 3 years of full-time supply chain management experience to take this exam. So this is not an entry-level thing. You have to have the experience before taking this and getting certified. There's also the SOL Certified Professional Logistic, Project Management Professional, and the SC Pro Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals. So getting the job with little to no experience, it's possible to be done, but this job, for instance, is looking for people who have experience already, like most jobs, but they still do pick up people off the streets with little to no experience. So your best bet is to self-study and get your foot in the door into a company, and then just work your way up the ladder from there. If you do not have a degree, it is recommended to go to a school that has supply chain undergraduate degree program. That'll definitely give you the knowledge, and a lot of companies like to see your resume and see what you have, even though you may have a lot of self-study and you may know so much about the business. Some companies are really strict and they want you to have a degree. So if you have a degree in business, they recommend you obtain a master's degree in the field. It'll definitely increase your odds of getting into this. If not, apply, interview, and repeat. Just keep applying for jobs in the field. Go through the interview process. If you get rejected, just keep on doing it. You'll eventually land a position. Also, you can study and start an e-commerce business to get experience in the flow of products. This is very helpful. Everything is changing these days, so I think this is another great thing if you have no experience and want to get into this career path.
All right, so what are some reasons to get a job in supply chain? For one, we have job growth. So the field of logistics is an area that consistently continues to expand. So over the years, it's seen that this field has kept on rising. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has predicted there to be a 7% growth in jobs between 2016 and 2026. So in this case, it's safe to say that if you want a safe option, supply chain is an option to look into. Another reason to get a job in supply chain is pay. The median annual pay for a logistician in the U.S. is around $74,590, and that equates to $35.86 an hour. The lowest 10% making $44,820, and then the highest 10% making over $120,000. Another reason to get a job is there's a low barrier to entry, so there's opportunity for career without an advanced degree. So you can have a bachelor's degree and still have a chance at the job. At the same time, another reason to get a job in supply chain is advancement opportunity. So although you don't need an advanced degree to get a career in supply chain, if you want to move up and stuff, you're better off getting an advanced degree to acquire these higher positions. There's a great amount of upper management jobs, but these require the extra education and experience, as I mentioned. And this also paves the way for quick advancement through job positions. Another reason is international travel. It's great for those who are interested in traveling. There's many jobs that have the need for a frequent amount of traveling, and international business interest goes hand in hand. So if you're someone that enjoys traveling around the world, then this job could be good for you because in some certain situations you are required to travel often. And on top of this, if you want to get more into international business, this is a great route to go as you'll be traveling to different countries and states. Local jobs. So it has a broad appeal in different regions as well. There's also a variety of industry options, several specializations such as wholesaling, warehousing, and postal services, and others as well. Employment placement can vary from big corporations to small businesses and not-for-profit organizations. So you have many options as far as where to go with this career. So you're not just stuck with one specific area. You also have internship opportunities. There's a large availability in entry-level employment, and this includes paid internships. So as far as schooling, once you're out, if you get into supply chain, chances are you'll have good luck finding an internship for supply chain. A 2019 survey report was done by the Association for Supply Chain Management. 80% of respondents provided a rating of 8 or above when asked about overall satisfaction, and 82% say they are likely to continue working in the supply chain field for the next 5 years. Almost all respondents receive holiday pay. 80% have 3 or more weeks of vacation. More than half reported they are offered flexible schedules and can work from home if needed. And those who held one certification reported a median salary that was 18% higher than individuals who were not certified. So as you can see from a survey that questioned individuals who are in the field seem to get great benefits from it and also enjoy the job itself. Here's a video just to show a little bit of how it is working in supply chain.
I say jump right in. It's always changing. I think it will be definitely something that will give you a nice cross-functional, cross-stakeholder view of the entire organization. You're on the other side of the desk, so to speak, with the client and with the supplier. You learn a supplier's business, you learn your internal customer's business.
It's a growing industry. it's a growing career. You know, within the next few years, I could see a lot of younger people being really successful in the supply chain industry. Straight out of college, it's a great opportunity. You know, given the economy, it's a great opportunity to get a job.
Everything that we do touches everybody's lives. Whatever we buy is going to affect somebody's lives.
So that's just an idea from a couple of people who are in the career as to why it's a good idea to get a job in supply chain. So qualifications and skills needed for the job. So as times become more advanced, technologies and processes improve, which lead to requiring those who are interested in this career field to develop and employ a more advanced set of skills. Therefore, strategic planning and big thinking is necessary. This is inclusive of technology development and advancement incorporating the Internet of Things, as well as AI. Another one is applied real-time end-to-end supply chain management expertise. This includes collaboration, networking, relationship management, technical expertise, and change leadership. Technological expertise, adept in areas such as analytics, AI, robotics, Internet of Things, etc. Change leadership, expertise on a global, multi-channel, and multi-partner basis. Some other qualifications and skills needed include risk management expertise. This includes knowing how to solve problems, an ability to quickly assimilate large amounts of information quickly, along with exceptional decision making. Along with this, you also need an holistic global leadership. This includes an ability to work seamlessly within and across companies, cultures, functions, and geographies to drive change and action. Lastly, understanding of market dynamics. So the supply chain world is rapidly changing, which is affected by rapid shifts in customer and consumer buying behavior. Therefore, it's very important to understand how the market works. Now, if you're getting into supply chain management positions and into those higher levels of leadership, some of the skills needed for that include understanding cost to serve. Running a supply chain operation means your decisions impact the cost involved. Applying a cost to serve concept allows you to be able to identify unprofitable customers and products. You also need to be flexible. Flexibility helps you support and drive innovation, and it gives you the ability to let others do the innovative thinking and give those creative thinkers the confidence to present new ideas. You also need to have skills in project management. This allows you to be able to negotiate successfully for resources, budgets, and schedules. High degree of personal organization, and it gives you a proactive approach to risk management. You also need to understand the laws. There are state and local laws which will need to be considered in order to maintain the firm's credibility. These laws can vary from state to state, making this important. Now, as far as women and men in supply chain, as we know, there tends to be a gap in most careers when it comes to men and women. As far as supply chain, men hold 75 to 80% of jobs in supply chain. There's data from a consulting firm that shows a ratio of 15 out of 20 men to 1 woman at the supply chain logistics conferences that they chair and attend every year. Partial reason for lack of women in supply chain is the career not being promoted enough at universities and other entities. Gender diversity is becoming much more important in the workplace. And at the same time, females tend to have an advantage when it comes to skills such as collaboration, creativity, and problem solving, all which are in high demand in the supply chain field. This makes it important for females to take that step into this career field as their skills that they have an advantage in are highly needed in the field of supply chain. KPMG Women's Leadership Study, moving women forward into leadership roles, showed that there is a need to focus on three key main areas to empower more women to reach the higher ranks: socializing leadership early in life, modeling leadership, and building confidence through role models and networking.
Thank you to my colleagues for sharing their insight about a career in supply chain. In conclusion, as you can see through our presentation, there are many different career opportunities for somebody to enter this industry, whether it's with no experience, some experience, men and women, and the growing number of roles is exponential. We find that this is a fast growing industry because of the breadth of availability of careers and jobs within it. And it is a very rewarding career having a job in supply chain. And we encourage those of you who are in this course to consider a position in supply chain. Thank you for joining us.